Katy Perry, I just want to congratulate you on being the first astronaut to sing in space for real.
Thanks, Jeff. It was one small step for women, one giant leap for my Lifetime's tour. By the way, it's Captain Perry now.
Picture this. You're floating above Earth, staring into the endless black of space. A moment so rare and humbling most people would cry, pray, or just sit there in stunned silence. Now imagine taking that moment and making it about your selfie angle. Congratulations, you've just entered Katy Perry's brain. Because somehow, against all odds, she managed to turn one of humanity's greatest frontiers into an Instagram thirst trap. And just when you thought the cringe couldn't escape the atmosphere, South Park grabbed the wheel. Spoiler alert, they're about to drag Katy back to Earth so hard.
I know you're just a simple businessman, but I went to space for real. That makes me Space Captain Perry.
Elon Musk's satellites might pick up the wreckage. This is the celebrity clout race. And honey, it's uglier than a reality TV reunion special. April 14th, 2025. The NS-25 mission blasts off courtesy of Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' private little rocket company where billionaires can cosplay as astronauts for 15 minutes. On board, a lineup of who's who and who cares, Oprah bestie Gayle King, Ed Dwight, a former astronaut candidate who deserved way better than this circus, a couple of anonymous tech bros with money to burn.
Excuse me, Captain. Hello? We have a problem. You need to get down here right away. All right, we'll be right there. What's the problem?
Please, Jeff, you don't know as much about this stuff as I do. I sang in space for real, after all.
And then, Katy Perry. Yes, that. Katy Perry. The woman whose career peaked with a cupcake bra and a left shark. Somehow she ended up on a spaceship. Now, when most people see Earth from space, they describe it as life-changing, humbling, spiritual. Katy? She whipped out a camera and stared dead-eyed into it like she was filming an audition for Keeping Up with the Kardashians' Lunar Edition. There's the curve of the Earth, the shimmering blue oceans, the black infinity of the cosmos, and Katy Perry, trying to find her best side. It's the first selfie in human history where the background was more important than the subject. Space wasn't the final frontier anymore. It was the final influencer set. Meanwhile,
So what's the problem? Man, for some reason I feel dumb around you. Anyway, when you sang in space, alien communication satellites picked up the sound waves.
And they loved it. I knew I felt a connection when I was in space for real. I sensed the magic of the universe coursing through my foof.
real astronauts, you know, the people who actually train for this, are rolling their eyes so hard from Houston they might achieve orbit themselves. Because make no mistake, this wasn't a scientific breakthrough. It was a billion-dollar Instagram reel. And here's where it goes from embarrassing to downright tragic. The internet, glorious, savage, undefeated, took one look at Katy's space confessional and did what the internet does best, clowned her into oblivion. Memes, reaction videos, a flood of TikToks showing dogs staring into webcams with more soul than Katy managed at the edge of the universe. At this point, most celebrities would quietly deactivate for a few days, maybe blame their PR team and hope people move on. But Katy Perry channeled the spirit of every entitled pop star before her and said, "Actually, you're the problem." She reposted a video compilation of the criticism.
When we heard Katy Perry sing, it was triggering for us. I mean, who the hell makes a real spaceflight about themselves by trying to sing to an entire planet without consent? Some organisms are very sensitive to terrible music, you know. Also, launching that much plastic into space is technically littering.
Which, honestly, was generous because some of those memes were better content than her last album, and added the caption, "Imagine getting dragged for inspiring young women to explore space. Star. Girl. Nobody is dragging you for inspiring women. They're dragging you because you made outer space, one of humanity's greatest achievements, look like a desperate TikTok thirst trap. There's a difference between inspiration and influencer brain rot, and Katy Perry just painted it across the entire cosmos in glitter eyeliner. But this is the modern celebrity move, right? Step 1, do something embarrassingly tone deaf. Step 2, get roasted. Step 3, cry sexism, misogyny, bigotry.
And part of our mission is to make sure everyone in the galaxy recycles. That's why, Captain Perry, you're coming with us to be disposed of properly.
So you see, Captain Perry.
Whatever fits the PR narrative best. Step 4, book another appearance on Good Morning America to tell your truth. It's basically fame Mad Libs at this point. And here's the thing, playing the victim. When you're literally getting roasted in space for taking selfies isn't empowerment, it's just embarrassing. It's the influencer to space pipeline we never asked for. UD Katy's biggest miscalculation, she forgot about the two most dangerous men in Hollywood, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. The gods of unfiltered chaos, The last remaining comedians who don't care if you cry on Instagram Live. The moment Katy's cringe stunt hit the internet, South Park writers probably sprinted to the storyboard room like it was the Super Bowl. And what they cooked up? Pure brutality, served frozen at 62 miles above sea level.
After a ton of anticipation, Katy Perry actually went to space today. And I thought this was going to be like, a few days, weeks, maybe even a month in space. And it was this huge historic moment where it was an all-female crew traveling to space for the first time ever in human history.
According to leaks, episode 4 of season 27 will parody the Blue Origin flight, but with a twist. The celebrity passengers are secretly part of a zero-gravity Botox experiment. You cannot make this up. In the episode, Katy's animated doppelganger gets mid-flight injections, and because gravity is taking a coffee break, her face literally melts in orbit. Cheeks sliding downward, lips floating off her chin, eyebrows doing their own Apollo mission. Her entire face becomes the human version of a glitchy Snapchat filter. And it's not just Perry. Gayle King, P. Diddy, even Jeff Bezos himself.
Turns out they were there for 11 minutes, none of them actually controlled the spacecraft, and Katy Perry had the most dramatic exit I think I've ever seen. Girl, why are you kissing the Earth? You were gone for 10 minutes. This is literally a more dramatic exit than the two people who were stuck on the International Space Station for 10 months.
All get cooked in this satire stew. Bezos is reportedly portrayed as a deranged mastermind, shipping fame-hungry influencers into orbit to test out luxury beauty treatments. Like some combination of Elon Musk, Bond villain, and Instagram entrepreneur, all rolled into one bald, unhinged package. South Park isn't exaggerating reality anymore. Reality has gotten so ridiculous, all they have to do is trace it. And somehow, it still feels too insane to be real. The thing is, Katy Perry isn't alone. She's just the tip of the influencer iceberg. Because let's be real.
And real astronauts are extremely intelligent scientists who've been tested to the limits of their physical and mental fitness. But this was really not women in space. It was stupid people in space. This was the lowest IQ space crew that has ever been launched from Earth.
Katy Perry is just the face of a bigger disease, and not just the one sliding off mid-orbit. She's the poster child for a generation of celebrities who think every human experience exists solely for their personal content farm. There's no such thing as a moment anymore. There's only footage. Birthdays, weddings, funerals, space flights, doesn't matter. As long as there's a ring light and a Wi-Fi signal, these people are going to treat it like an unpaid brand partnership. You could slap a celebrity on the surface of Mars, and they'd still be checking the lighting before doing a slow-motion hair flip. And Katy's Blue Origin selfie spree wasn't an isolated moment of cringe. It was just the most obvious symptom. Because this isn't about space exploration. This is about selling an inspirational narrative to squeeze out a few million more likes before the algorithm forgets you ever existed. Space used to be about pushing the limits of human discovery. Now it's about pushing the limits of your engagement metrics. And the worst part, they don't even realize how ridiculous they look.
They're treating her like she was in Nam. Where are my babies? My babies, like she was almost dead. Here's Katy Perry. Kisses the ground. Right. You were in such danger.
Or maybe they do, but they just don't care anymore. As long as it trends, they'll point a camera at anything. A historic rocket launch, their dog eating a crayon, the death of dignity itself. And here's the best news. South Park isn't stopping at just one orbital roast session. Nope. Katy Perry's space face disaster is just the opening act. According to leaks, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are planning a full arc for season 27, a ruthless, no-holds-barred takedown of everything wrong with modern celebrity culture, identity politics, virtue signaling, and corporate greed. It's like they woke up one morning, looked around at the world, and said, yeah, let's just set the entire circus on fire. Coming later this year, a DEI-themed special. Yes, you heard that right. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, but make it satire. If you thought the Panderverse special was brutal, you haven't seen anything yet. They're coming for fake woke. Disney reboots, clout-chasing political activists, billionaires pretending to be astronauts.
The celebrities like Katy Perry, who were sent on the stunning and brave girl boss mission into outer space for Blue Origin, are now having complete and total meltdowns over the backlash that they've been receiving for the past 48 hours in response.
And yes, the Katy Perrys of the world who think filming a TikTok in zero gravity is somehow inspiring. And here's why it matters. Because in a world where most comedians are terrified to offend anyone, or worse, have traded real jokes for performative groveling, South Park is one of the last battalions standing, still unapologetic, still hilarious, still savage. In 2023, when they dropped Joining the Panderverse, they ripped Disney, Lucasfilm, Kathleen, Kennedy, Identity Politics, and even themselves. And the thing broke the internet. Because it had teeth, because it didn't pull punches, because it reminded everyone that real satire doesn't ask permission. And now, they're gearing up for an even bigger kill streak. This isn't just about Katy Perry embarrassing herself in a billion-dollar selfie booth, it's about what her meltdown represents. We're living through a full-blown cultural extinction event, where being famous means never having to admit you messed up, only that you were misunderstood, targeted, or oppressed by the haters. Fame used to be about talent. Now it's about surviving backlash cycles long enough to land another brand deal. And it's not just Katy, it's every celebrity who jumps on the nearest movement to shield themselves from criticism.
She too. Okay, kisses the ground. Somebody already, you should be kissing Oprah. Oprah's there. Kiss Oprah. She's worth far more to you than the ground. Thank you, Jesus. Truly, it's like they're right back from Nam.
Every PR agent who weaponizes buzzwords like bravery and authenticity to distract from how phony their client actually is. Every blue-check billionaire who thinks slapping a BLM hashtag on a yacht makes them an ally. It's the cultural rot that tells influencers it's brave to film yourself crying into a ring light for sympathy. It's the rot that says clout is more important than character, and that's why South Park's brutality matters. Because in a world where everyone's too scared to say, hey, you're being cringe, somebody has to. And if that somebody happens to be two middle-aged dudes drawing cartoons of Katy Perry's Botox melting off in space, even better. So here's the final verdict. Katy Perry went to space and made it less majestic. She turned a historic moment into a viral marketing stunt for herself, and when the internet laughed, she tried to reframe it as a feminist victory lap. Classic. But the real victory? That belongs to South Park, and to every single person who's sick of being told that cringe is actually courage. Because when Katy's face starts sliding off mid-orbit in animated glory, it won't just be funny, it'll be necessary. Reminder that no matter how high you fly, on a rocket, on a platform, on a mountain of publicists spinning your narrative, the truth will always find you. And sometimes, the truth comes wearing a badly drawn cartoon face, laughing all the way back to Earth. So smash that like button if you're tired of influencer culture hijacking everything sacred. Subscribe if you believe comedy is supposed to punch up, not grovel down. And remember, you can run, you can orbit, but you can't escape the cringe. Not when South Park's got a front row seat to your downfall and a cartoon rocket ready to launch it straight into history. See you next time on Woke Watch, where no ego is safe, not even in space.